Well, sorry for that delay. Some technical issues with StreamYard, but situation as it stands, England are less than 100 runs away from what could be a historic and morale-boosting win, which keeps them in the hunt to reclaim the Ashes. What will happen in this session? Can Australia end England's hopes, or will Stokes and company steer them through? It's the afternoon session from Headingley, and it is good to have you with us once again. Yes, people. And the title says it all. It is day 4 of the third Ashes test, live from Headingley, Leeds. And sadly, on my side, due to some horrible rain, it has affected the television signal where I am. So I'm sadly not quite able to, watch shit on the telly. I am going to have to, try and make another arrangement here. But the situation as it stands were that when England went to lunch, they were 153 for 4, leading only 98 runs to secure what would have been a terrific win. Now, I'm going to find out, we're going to get an update of the score as it is right now. At the moment, let me just refresh everything. Now, it was expected that the, I think when Hanno scheduled this, it was supposed to be at 3 p.m. UK time, and in fact, it ended up being just before 2 p.m. UK time that the players returned from lunch. So here I am bringing you coverage here, and Cricinfo has England at 156 for 4 after 32.5 overs. It was Scott Boland who was bowling the first over after lunch to Harry Brook, who took a single, and Stokes very nearly lost his wicket over there, but ended up getting 2 runs off the 4th ball. And so clearly Australia are looking to try and, knock England over as soon as possible. But it will take a lot of time here. And just refreshing everything. And at the end of the 33rd over, I can tell you that England are 156 for 4 after 33 overs. And they need another 95 runs to win. And this will be the banner for what we've got going on right now. And as you can see, there's a lot of moisture over here because it's raining here, so there's some moisture right now. But I'm going to try my best to see if I can, watch it on my computer. I've also been suffering with a bit of a bad cold of late. Yesterday, I wasn't able to do very much. I mean, I could barely, I couldn't get out of bed. I slept almost the whole day, couldn't watch a single bit of the action. I mean, I did get up at about 10 o'clock my time, which is 5:30 UK time, and I had some dinner, and I did see some action. So I'm trying to log on to my computer and just see if I can't watch the cricket here. Now, of course, watching it on my PC means that it is, liable to buffer. And I'm still trying to work with it, so please bear with me, everyone. In the meantime, I can tell you that... great. Great. So it might look as though I'm looking at you while I'm watching, but it's because I've got it on my computer. It will buffer a little bit, but at the moment, it is Mitchell Starc who's bowling this over. He's got 2 wickets for 45 off 11.2 overs. This is his 12th one right now. Harry Brook has managed to play sensibly, and he's now on 42 off 57. Stokes has just come in, 9 off 12. And Australia do know that as long as Ben Stokes is still there, they cannot afford to relax one bit. So third ball of the over is Mitchell Starc bowling left arm over the wicket to the left-handed Ben Stokes. And Stokes sort of defends at that, and that is sort of defended all the way to the mid-wicket region. Remember, Stokes is left-handed. So if it's play to his onside, it'll be mid-wicket. And, of course, whether you're right-handed or left-handed, of course, the fielding positions will differ. Scott Boland there fielding on the boundary. And this has certainly been a game full of many twists and turns. As long as Travis Head was there for Australia, he was threatening, of course, to do a Ben Stokes and maybe score a century almost all by himself, but eventually ended up getting caught off the... I don't quite remember who the bowler was. I'll have to look that up and tell you. Full scorecard. Yes, it was Duckett who caught him off the bowling of Stuart Broad. Starc once again to Stokes. And that is beautifully played through the cover region. And will that go to the boundary? Yes, it will, because there is no fielder there. And that is what you get with Ben Stokes. Wonderful stroke play, especially on the offside. And when it comes to playing on the onside, he is simply powerful. So... basically, Starc allowing himself to strain over there. Huge gap over there between cover and points. And when you leave that sort of a gap and fielders are hardly anywhere to be seen, I mean, you can see there between mid-off and backward point, there's such a huge gap. So you can't afford to bowl short and wide because he will cream you through that area. Starc once again over the wicket. And that is, well, they're appealing for an edge. And it's been given. Well, Australia are now cock-a-hoop. Fifth ball of the over. A faint edge from Ben Stokes all the way to the wicketkeeper, Alex Carey, all the way down leg. Away for Mitchell Starc to say, sorry, Benny boy, but you don't get to creep me for 4 through the covers and get away with it. So, scrambled seam position, and Stokes obviously looking to work that away through the onside. Carey heard an edge. He caught it quite well. Dharmasena had no problems giving him the finger, the index finger, that is. And the Headingley hero of yesteryear is gone for 13 off 15. England has 161 for 5, 90 runs to win. And could it very well be all over bar the shouting? Well, there's only one way to find out, isn't there? And listen, since there's a huge amount of fog in front of my screen, I'm going to have to stop the camera because you do not want to see my reasonably good-looking mug covered by fog. So let this thing clear, and once it's clear, hopefully it'll clear soon. But for now, you're going to get to see this mug, which is my profile picture, and you will hear me speak. We got some comments already. Good to have you coming on now. Wonderful, big up Chelsea fan. And yes, keep hitting the like button. And looking forward to seeing you. And I'm sure you will be cock-a-hoop. And, sadly, Bhargav, you missed it. Moeen Ali was actually sent out as a night watchman earlier on. Not as a night watchman. He came out at number 3 because England wanted to keep the left-right combination going. So he came before Harry Brook. But he was bowled for 5 runs. And there's some sort of stamper being used over there, probably to, not sure why they're doing that, probably to try to deal with the rough. But they're replaying the wicket, and Dharmasena had no problem showing the finger, giving him out. We're going to take a look and see if there was an edge. And yep, there was definitely an edge. Maybe not a big edge, but an edge nonetheless. And Stokes is absolutely distraught. So a lot will rest on young Harry Brook's shoulders, as it will Johnny Bairstow. And he's just come to the crease. And of course, the controversial nature of his dismissal means that he will certainly have a lot of responsibility on his shoulders. Hanno, how's it, bud? Good to have you with us.
Yeah, am I back?
Yep.
Got
And
my
so
yeah.
at the end of the over, I'll just change the score. After 34 overs, England are 161 for 5, with Ben Stokes having just gotten out, and they need another 90 runs to win. So, Hanno, more twists and turns. Does this swing the pendulum
Yeah.
back Australia's way?
I still think they need to get one of these two. So it depends on these two. They need to get one early. One of these two, they need to get them early out. Can't be wasting time with that.
Yeah. Now, of course, over here it's raining in my neck of the woods, so I had to resort to the PC. An excellent single off the first ball of Scott Boland's over, well taken by Harry Brook, and that brings Bairstow on strike on his home turf. He will have a lot of responsibility on his shoulders. And as you've said, we saw, of course, how Australia were able to whittle down a target of about 80 with Nathan Lyon and Pat Cummins doing some very sensible batting indeed, and pretty much, making a mockery of England's bowling strategy to bowl short and hard, when if they had pitched it up, they would almost certainly have induced an edge. And a rather attacking field with two slips in the gully for Bairstow, and hoping to get a
Yeah.
single down to mid-on, but Cummins says, sorry, Johnny, back you go.
Yeah, look. Um, this this test match has been interesting because this pitch is completely different from the other two pitches that that we saw. Um, of course, at Lords and especially with it being really, I wouldn't- I'm going to use the word dead almost like there was little to no swing unless there was much rain like we saw. I believe it was Edgebest and there were a bit of rain and then the ball all of a sudden swung a bit. So yeah, I think this wicket it tested both these teams, and you can see that in the totals, low totals, not high 300 or even high 200. What Australia they got their highest with what was it, 275 something like that. At so maybe yeah might be less. So yeah.
Well, the win predictor still says that England have a 60% chance of winning, but if Brook or Bairstow were to go, then that will put the cat amongst the pigeons. And so far, there have been dot balls, but this one is swung, and that's another dot ball because obviously Bairstow was hoping to try to swing it all the way beyond mid wicket, but there was a fielder over there just for that. And could that possibly
Yeah.
be a no ball? I think that might be checked for a no ball. I wonder if Boland had overstepped.
Mm. And it's been interesting to see Australia hold out and not go to the short ball because maybe you would suspect them to go short, um, but they haven't. They've stick to their guns, and that's fair enough. Look, it, um, so yeah,
Well, the
so
over is
of
ended,
course, yeah,
and it
Mon
was
Ali,
a very fortunate shot there from Bairstow, where he uh, sort of fringe cut that all the way to the fine leg boundary for four. Some welcome runs, which at the end of 35 overs means that England need another 85 to win. And this could actually suit them quite nicely because you mentioned the point. Um, Australia can't afford to give away loose runs in the form of streaky boundaries and easy singles. And there was an
Yeah,
attacking field, but again, when you have that sort of an offside field, you've got to bowl to your line. There's no way that you can afford to, give them anything. And
yeah,
I will credit Pat
um,
Cummins for staying cool through all of this.
yeah, definitely.
And
Good fielding there by Labashane, stopping 3 or 2 maybe.
I
We'll
would say
see.
three because it was just
Yeah, three.
after. Yep, excellent fielding there by the South African-born Australian, and a
Yeah,
beautiful shot played there, all the way through to the aiming for the long off boundary off Mitchell Stark, but the fielder there for that reason, and so Stark is now bowling over the wicket. He might not. I'm not too sure why he isn't going round the wicket to try and induce an edge, but if he's bowling over the wicket, the worst part is he has to bowl to his line and bowl to his field because again there's very little cover on that onside, and
yeah, and
another single given. Yeah,
he stuck to that field. He stuck to that way the all day through. So yeah, of course, Mon Ali was brought up to 3. I think it was risky, but look, I think it worked. Of course, wasn't more for Mon Ali. It was more for Brooke because if Brooke is there, it's better for him. So yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, he's playing
Okay.
really good shots. I think the one time he got a 15 months out might be Lords. So yeah, exactly. These pictures separate the best batsmen, especially when when they swing. So far with
Yeah,
the old ball, there isn't really swing, so it's not that good. So yeah,
yeah. And my
um,
telly's come back, so I've just seen a gorgeous shot played to the point boundary, but that was fielded, so no boundary for Harry Brook. And Stark has now changed his angle and is coming round the wicket to the right-handed Harry Brook, left arm seam. Does he get an edge? No, he doesn't. It's once again beautifully played to the backward point area, but Todd Murphy, spectacles and all, is there to clean up. And that
yeah.
brings Bairstow on
And
strike.
I think this is a good comment because Chris Rocks did in the first innings. If we look at the scorecard, he did get a few runs. Markwood, they can smash a few. I don't say they can smash every ball, but they can get a few runs.
Yeah,
Good
but the
shot there
problem
by
is
Wood.
the problem is again, when you've got if the Aussie bowlers are on song, there is no way that you want to depend on the batsman getting you some runs. And at least with Cummins and Lyon, oh, a wicket. And the worst possible time for a wicket. Bairstow playing onto his
Oh,
stumps. He had some good fortune in the previous over when a similar fringe cut went all the way to the the fine leg boundary. But this time, playing onto his stumps, Brendan McCullum is not a happy chappy. England need 80 more to win. Hanno, you're going to watch this wicket. What do you say for this?
I'm just watching the wicket now, so oh again he wanted to play that through the gap and we saw Crawley go out and even want to try that a few times with Broad and just doesn't work, especially on this pitch with bit of uneven bounce. We saw Crawley nick one through.
Oh.
Yeah, we saw Crawley wanted to get on top of the bounce. He failed, nicked one through. This time, I'm Basil. That doesn't get over up the bounce, like over the bounce, and just nicks one through. It's the wicket space still gone. And Charles Fenn made this comment a few minutes ago. Oh, and we've been here before, and England need to win, and they fall apart. So yeah, um, except in the first innings, we haven't seen him really. So can't really judge, but He's more of a bowler that you bowl to the left-handers. So yeah, we saw one over of him today, I believe, just one over. So
Yeah,
that
well,
they
it's
just
ironic
changed.
because I remember, he was bowling to Stokes, and Stokes was bashing him all around the ground. But Murphy did have the last laugh by getting him out. I believe Stokes ended up, miscuing it and holding out to the cover fielder. And so that brings Chris Wokes with a Lord's century against India in 2018. And so, yeah, he could certainly bat, and he was selected, of course, to make sure that the batting order was lengthened in a way. But he's facing Mitchell Stark, and we're going to talk about his seam position in a minute. But oh, Chris, you do not want to have a waft like that, and that could be the end of the over. I think it is the end of the over. England are 171 for six after 36 overs, I think, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Uh, but yeah, 7 people in here. If you haven't already, please do smash a like on the video.
Yeah, but
And
if you do see a replay of the wicket again, Hanno, I want you to talk about the seam position that Stark had for that, because it's it's fast bowling 101, seam bowling 101. You've got to make sure that you've got some really good position on the seam, especially with the two fingers you've got, because that is when you can really get it. I know a lot of bowlers try to use the scramble seam a lot to try to cast some doubt in the eyes of the batsman, but when you're bowling proper seam bowling, especially if you want to try and pitch it up, that seam position will reap some rewards.
yeah. And I think also with that's if you almost go with the straight seam position and not that wobble seam him that we've seen Broad, Anderson, and those types of bowlers gone with. We see it sometimes come off the I don't know the English word for it now, but off the seam. There we go.
Yeah,
Um, and then it is, and it just does something completely different than what it would do if it's a scramble seam or it's just a ball normally. So yeah, uh,
exactly. I mean, the new ball will seem a lot more than the old ball, but at least with the old ball, if you can try and get the position working, you could get a bit of swing. A single was taken off the first ball of Scott Boland's next over, and
definitely
now it's Chris
something
Wokes.
we could see
Chris Wokes
something
at the crease with two slips in the gully. That is played all the way to the mid-off fielder, who says, "Don't even try anything against me, son." And
yeah. We could definitely see something broke when the pressure gets to him that um, he does something out of his nature and goes out. We could see definitely something like that.
and another worry here, Hanno, is with Bairstow, because although at Lords he batted quite beautifully in the first innings, he hasn't really made too many runs since, and he's cost quite a few more runs with some drops as well. So could we see him replaced by Ben Folkes for Old Trafford and maybe the Oval?
Look, we what we could see maybe is Ben Folks coming in for Mon Ali and then Wilkes going maybe batting third or maybe a Beso at batting at three. I wouldn't say Beso. I don't know much about Wilkes, but maybe Wilkes at third. I doubt it, but that is one you could think.
Wokes would never
Mm,
bat that high. It would probably be Brook and then Root, and then the middle order would sort itself out. Okay, fourth delivery of the over the wicket to the right-handed Wokes, who just defends that into the ground, and still. The ironic
um,
thing is that, as you said, Broad was selected for his accuracy and his good line and length, but when you think about it, he has been quite expensive in a way. Nearly four and over, thereabouts.
but Indian test never this close. Um, I think it's a mixture of both. I think India they've struggled recently in the test format, and I think most subcontinent teams like Sri Lanka's West Indies have all struggled recently in that test format of late, and I've more been focusing on the T20s, the ODIs, especially with the IPL now being such a big thing. You seldom see India produce test batsmen. You look at Shipman Gill and them. I think it's tough for them. Us after Rohit Sharma, there wasn't really a next group to follow. It was maybe Rohit Sharma, and then there were this whole period with Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, and now only these youngsters are coming through. So it is a problem for India. So
Yeah, I'm going to add my
I
perspective to
think it's
that
just
because
experience.
obviously living over here, I do see quite a bit of it. I can tell you that at the end of the over, England are now 173 for six, needing 78 runs to win. The fifth ball actually was attempted to be guided down to the third man boundary, but Mitchell Marsh at Gully did some brilliant fielding. Wokes took a single off the last ball, so he will be on strike for the next bowler. If it's Mitchell Stark, he could be in for a huge working over. And Pargav, Hannah's pretty much hit the nail on the head. The IPL has pretty much taken center stage. It's certainly reflected in the controversy where a certain guy named Sarfaraz has not been picked for the Test squad because he hasn't played too much IPL cricket. And yet, in the first class scene in India, specifically the Ranji Trophy, he's been scoring buckets and buckets of runs. So it's like, do you literally have to make yourself seen and heard in the IPL to get a shout out? Because we've seen Jaiswal getting into the squad from the Rajasthan Royals based on his IPL heroics, but what have his first class exploits been? And a lot of hard questions will have to be asked about it. And of course, maybe there's some sort of criticism that the standard isn't that good. And first ball of Stark's over. Chris Wokes has beautifully guided that all the way to the somewhere between backward point and third man for a boundary. We're going to take a look at the shot. Left arm over the wicket, width on offer. And I wouldn't exactly say guided beautifully. It was in the air, but took advantage of the fielder not being there. And that is for four welcome runs.
Yeah,
Every little bit
definitely
counts.
welcome runs. This is getting uh, really close to a knife edge. This test match,
Second
and
delivery.
also with India, it's the um we don't really see new bowlers coming through. Like Bumrah, he's been there now a while, but we don't really see anyone else with that much pace, youngster with that much pace. Except that I know Chennai had an 18-year-old one, or a very youngster
I
that
believe he's Sri
that did
Lankan, Patirana.
Sri Lankan. Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
but he was really good. Because you look now at India, you look at that bowling. There's not really any fast bowler. Siraj, it's not really a fast one. One,
Uh,
uh, Siraj, Mohammad Siraj.
I
Um,
know Mohammad Siraj. And even
he's not the
Shami's also a
fast
lot
one,
more workmanlike.
and and what after Shami, who's there really out of pace. Boomerang, he's there, but he's with his injuries, we don't know how long he's still going to play this long form. Shami is getting towards the end of his career. I can't really name anyone off the top of my head for India that's almost successors to who the likes of Shami, Sharma, Kohli. Got a few here or there, but not that much. Even you
Yeah,
look at MS Dhoni. Um, his successor was only found recently in Russia, in Punt. So yeah, I don't know what your thoughts
yeah.
are on that.
Listen. Obviously, there have been a lot of issues with the selection, and we see here Stark is now giving Wokes a bit of a working over because three balls, three of them dots, and asking some questions of the lower order batsman. First ball was bowled straight at the wicket, and Wokes defended that well enough. Second ball after that was um, uh, a waft which went to his offside. And now this delivery, which was pitched on middle, went down leg, not called a wide. So two deliveries left. Left arm over the wicket from Mitchell Starc to the right-handed Chris Wokes. And that is once again beautifully guided. But there is a fielder in the deep at the region between backward point and third man. So that will just be a single. And so of this last ball, Brook needs to get a single so that he can retain strike. Otherwise, it will be Chris Wokes to face the next over.
Yeah.
And
could we see?
with regards to the fast bowling side of things, there was this left armer named Arshdeep Singh who we saw in the World 2020 Cup Championship, who bowled quite well. The only problem is he needs to make sure that he can improve his own fitness and be a NASA for the longer game. He certainly won't be known as England's greatest left-arm fast bowler. That goes to Zahir Khan. But if Arshdeep can improve his fitness and really start to be more consistent, he could be an option. And he's not the fastest, but his seam position and knowledge of how to work the seam is really, really good. And that's a dot ball to end the over. So Chris Wokes will be on strike at the end of this over. It is 178 for 6, I think, with England needing another 73 to win.
Yeah. Bhargav has mentioned the Umran Malik. Yeah, he is a shout. But again, we've got two there. You need at least four for your bowling attack. So there are a few, but it's very few and far between.
Yeah, few and far between, absolutely. Ooh, it's 38 overs that have been bowled. My bad. So, yeah, I'll get that right. Boland back in, over the wicket to the right-handed Wokes, who blocks that all the way to the mid-on fielder. And I think basically when it comes to selections with regard to whether it's bowlers or batsmen, India do have some problems. I know that the experienced Pujara, who was dropped recently, is that a possible no ball? Yes, it is. Completely overstepping.
Yeah.
And that is actually going to be one more run to the total, which leaves England needing 72 to win. So Boland has to be careful. Overstepping is a crime.
Yeah, we've seen Mitchell Marsh. He overstepped a few today. And it's been much less than what we saw at Lords. Like at Lords, it was a lot.
Yeah. And we've just seen Chris Wokes nicely play that all the way to the mid-wicket boundary. Once again, there's no real cover on the leg side, so Boland, completely struggling with his line there, and I think that no ball call has hurt his rhythm. I wouldn't be surprised to see him taken out of the attack, really. And, it's basically been Boland. So
we might see him get out. Maybe Pat Cummins come back into the attack.
Cummins Marsh. I mean, when you've taken 6 wickets in the first innings, you do not hold yourself back, especially, when you've got someone like Chris Wokes, who is a decent batsman who can bat a bit, but isn't really, world class. And at the moment, I do understand the strategy. Starc, of course, has 4, 1 more, and he'll get a fifer. But Cummins should bring himself back in. Mitchell Marsh has also not done too badly. And so it's amazing how when injury replacements come into the Australian team, they've pretty much, taken advantage of it. Khawaja did that in the last Ashes test back in Australia when he came in for, I think it was Travis Head, and scored a century in each innings. And now Mitchell Marsh has come in and scored a century and taken a wicket or 2. There is no way that Cameron Green comes back. I don't care how tall he is. I don't care how good a catch he can take. Marsh is also a quality fielder. So that would be the change, I think.
Both Cameron Green and Marsh in the same lineup for Manchester. Maybe push Labuschagne up to number 2. Imran Khawaja open. Maybe drop Warner. Could see something like that.
That is a big call you're making there. A very big call. And
but then again, maybe just uh, uh, there's so much stuff you can play with. And look,
Mate, listen,
what is
I'm not in favor of making all these radical changes because, I mean, if you decide to bring in Cameron Green, you will have to invariably drop either a middle order batsman or a fast bowler. And I can't see Smith or Labuschagne or even Head getting dropped. No chance.
yeah, of course, yeah, be up to the under England under 21. So the champions, world champions. So fair play to them. Look, that just shows again the talent England have coming through the ranks.
Oh yeah, they come through the ranks wonderfully well, but for some reason, there's an article on BBC Sport about the 1984 team, which won the European Under-21 Championship not too long ago. Only Mark Haitley and Steve Hodge, and went on to really have good careers playing in major tournaments and winning some silverware at club level. And that is, I'm not too sure if that'll be called a leg bye or did Works get some bat onto that? Yes, he did. So another very welcome boundary. England need 64 runs to win, and that is the end of a very expensive over from Boland. So
Yeah,
England are now,
I think it's coming out of the attack. I think they might go with the short stuff off
yeah.
soon.
Now the problem with Boland was that he got his line completely wrong in that over. You don't
Yeah,
bowl to the leg side when you have a very weak left leg side field. You just don't.
yeah. So let's check this. And then
Uh, so it
64
is Cummins
runs
back.
needed.
It is 187.6. It is Cummins back into the attack. Right arm over the wicket to Harry Brook, who is on strike, and he just sort of softly plays that back to the bowler. Yep, 187 for six after
Um,
39 overs.
I
Needs
don't know.
64.
I don't know about this one. Um, I might have to check this. Uh, oh,
Game does look like it could be finishing today. Cummins has also
yeah.
been a bit
Look,
expensive, but well, that goes beyond the gully fielder, but only just, and that will be cleaned up by Todd Murphy running in from backward point. So that takes Harry Brook to 49 or 65, a chance for another Ashes half century. I'm sure he will look to try and convert that into a big century, and if he can, he will almost certainly seal his spot in Ashes folklore. Cummins now
oh,
trying to organise the field. It is Chris Wokes on strike, and obviously he's going to look to try to reduce the streaky
yeah.
boundaries that have come off the bat.
They will uh get the money back. That's true. Or
It
they
was
still
Zayn
have a
who it was
20.
Zayn who asked that question. It was Zayn who asked that question.
Yeah, same. Hard is it to have 20 runs of partnership? It's not that hard. But 20 runs of partnership, that gets you somewhere.
Yeah, the short stuff
You
now
look,
from Cummins, and that goes down, pitched on middle and off, going down leg. The wicketkeeper gets that. And so, as you've said, the short stuff is coming back into the picture.
yeah, I think the, once it gets Wokes, he hasn't been really troubled by this full stuff. So and Brook, he has got out to the short stuff recently, so that's him get out
Oh, that
again.
is high in the air, but that is safe. The slips were taken away. There was only Mitchell Marsh and the wicketkeeper, and that fell safely just before third man, and Scott Boland cleaned that up. So that single brings Harry Brook back on strike. And Brook now, of course, one run away from another Ashes half century. And so if you want to bowl the short stuff, well, you might at least need to have, at least two other fielders. And now there are two slips in the gully. Mitchell Marsh, of course, is a
Yeah.
gully. Over the wicket to the right-handed Brook. Does he get his half century? Not yet. Sort of patted down, and Cummins
No,
collects.
just how short of Marsh there. Need need to play for Brook as well. Um, I think if these two can take it past that 50 runs needed, and then a wicket falls, maybe Wokes. If Wokes goes out, then I think it's fine. But if Wokes gets out before that runs are
And that
below
is Harry
50,
Brooks'
it's a
50.
problem.
Played all the way to the mid-wicket area. He should run back for two fairly easily. Travis Head running around to field that. And that is the last ball of the over. Another half century for Harry Brook. Well played, son. At least he's shown a bit of responsibility there. No, wait, I think that, have they taken one run off? Maybe he's just chosen to run one and retain strike. So it looks as though Harry Brook is on 50 not out. We'll take a look at the score in a minute. And I do echo what you're saying, but if Brook gets out, it will prove to be quite difficult because after Wokes comes Wood, Robinson, and Broad. And I know Broad has a test century at Lords as well, but since then his batting has become absolutely dire.
1914. One after. This match has been.
Apparently Boland has come back in. So maybe a change of ends will be what Boland needs. Two slips of the gully over the wicket to Wokes, and that is nicely played all the way to the mid-off fielder, who actually not mid-off, that is extra cover, deep extra cover, but he after a fumble eventually cleans that up. Brook is now on 51 not out and is now back on strike. An initial fumble over there, didn't really collect it, but there was no way that Wokes
Really
or
need
Brook
to
were
break
going
this
to.
partnership soon. Soon. Because if these two get half of these 60 odd runs, then England are going to go all the way, I think.
Exactly, and that is another run added to the total with Brook sort of dabbing that all the way to the point area. You can see how he's adopted a different approach. I mean, he's not so much the swashbuckling batsman who boshes it everywhere now. He's learnt to add a bit more subtlety to his game, raising his bat there to acknowledge a 50. Of course, it'll mean nothing if England don't win, but England still in the driver's seat. And that next ball is nicely played all the way to the just wide of square leg. Another single. And these singles with the field spread out will really help England's cause.
Yeah,
Australia are going to have to come up with some really
definitely.
magic deliveries to try and get these guys out.
Mm.
It's amazing how both you and I predicted an Australia win, but now England have finally chosen to stand up and make themselves counted. Oh boy,
Look,
oh boy.
I said England first when I did my prediction. Then excellent. Was I England and then because I was thinking about England and if they would win, but yeah, Brooke played like a proper test batsman today. Yeah, he has played like that.
Exactly. And a shot like that, when you just stand up and play the defensive shot and just let that go down, you've got to learn that patience, and he's learnt that brilliantly today. And there is, of course, the old warhorse, Geoffrey Boycott, no doubt taking some notes, still writing a column for the Telegraph, if memory serves me right. And over there with his partner, Rachel Swinglehurst. And another sort of fringe cut, which goes wide of the wicket all the way to square leg for another single. And these runs are going to irritate Australia. End of the over, 195 for 6. You handling the score, or do you want my help?
Can you do it just roughly?
Yeah, sure. So 195 for 6 after 41 overs at an extremely fast nick. And England need 56 runs to win. And actually, the over isn't over. Boland has one delivery left. We might have to change it again if this next ball's a dot ball. Hide it first. And it's not a dot ball. It is played down, and that will go all the way to the boundary for another welcome 4 runs. So that actually brings up England's 200.
200 now, only
No, it doesn't.
50.
199, 199. My bad. So they now need 52 runs to win, and these runs are really, really, really irritating Australia to no end. Close to 5 and over. Brilliant stuff. And I think the opening
Chris
assault
Brooks is holding up his end.
And I think the opening assault from not assault, the opening salvo from Crawley and Duckett when they, got those runs off the few overs that Australia bowled yesterday, you could say that set the tone for today.
Yeah, definitely. And I think also those that got into the close to 50. Brooke, he's now past 50. Crawley is now what he got in his 40s. So if we
More
look at the score,
disappointing. Another disappointing outing for Joe Root. Won't remember this Headingley Test match with any affection.
yeah.
Single played by Brooke off Cummins. That brings up the 200. And so we are coming close to the 50 target. And so Australia now need to think of something fast. If they don't, it could be a famous and morale-boosting England win.
Yeah, definitely. I think short stuff is the way to go. You need to stop these full balls because it definitely is not working. Go short and see what happens.
Yeah.
For me.
Because they're not bowling with the old ball, a new ball, are they? It's the old one. And that is pinged high in the air, but that is safe. And
Yeah,
England do elect to run for the single.
exactly.
And now the target is brought down to exactly 50. More.
Unless that's rain, I can't see the old ball doing anything. Come on, England, please don't bottle this.
I never thought I'd see
We'll
the day
see.
when you'd be rooting for England to win.
No, I'm not rooting. Of course I'm not.
Leopards never change their spots, I suppose.
I'm just look. If England win, it's good for a series. If Australia win, I'm happy. And basketball is going to end.
It
Holy
won't
fuck
end. I mean,
that.
you can't just throw the baby out with the bathwater. You just need to tweak it a bit and come back strong the next time. I mean, it does still look as though Australia will win the Ashes because, however, they've allowed themselves to take their foot off the pedal headingly. They're not. It's not going to be the same at Old Trafford and the Oval.
They won't get the new ball. It's 40 odd overs away. Like they're not going to get the new ball. A chance ball.
Interesting
I
delivery
think
that from Cummins, an almost grubber-like ball which went through Brooke and completely missed the wicket. Not
maybe
really a
Mitchell
grubber as
Marsh is the
such.
answer for Australia, or even Todd Murphy.
But then what I don't understand is if Todd Murphy isn't that effective as a bowler, why not bowl Travis Head instead? Well, I mean, what exactly is Cummins' strategy now? That's what I just don't get.
Yeah.
So far in this series, whatever Cummins has touched has turned to gold. And yet now, with this single taken by Harry Brook all the way to mid-off, the target is now less than 50. So this is the time when England fans can start to believe. And a win now will certainly boost morale and provide a lot of momentum going into Old Trafford, and it could set things very up quite nicely for the Oval. We'll have to see.
Definitely could.
Hmm. You're looking forward to the Cricket World Cup taking place. I mean, obviously the Proteas will be there. What are your hopes for them in the tournament?
Not much. Not much. I think we we might reach the semis. I think Fed is the furthest I think we can go. Maybe sneak in. Doubt it.
Last ball of the over, and Wokes looking for a single, but Brooks says no, and rightly so, because Brooks will be back on strike. 202 for 6. And England are getting closer.
Sorry. No slips or anything like that. Everyone out. Short ball. Nope. He changes it up with a bit of a Yorker almost type ball. I think Wilkes definitely expected a short ball.
So you're a bit behind my coverage now, are you? Yeah, that's fine. Are you watching it on your PC?
On my phone. I can't get it up on the computer, but it will just be every time I'm in StreamYard and I go out of it, it will stop. I'm just watching it on my
And you
phone.
called it. Mitchell Marsh is back into the attack. And he did bowl reasonably well in the first innings. He's taken a wicket right now. I want to take a look and see which wicket he took. He was the one who got the wicket of Zach Crawley. Got him out twice, in fact. And
Yeah, 1 second.
yes, so it could very well be Mitchell Marsh coming back in and maybe taking a few wickets. If it does, then he's definitely shoo-in for the man of the match. Coming in as an injury replacement for Cameron Green and scoring a century doesn't get any better. Over the wicket, right arm to the right hand of Harry Brook. And Brook hoping to try to play that on the onside, but only succeeding in just defensively almost prodding that to the mid-on fielder who's been brought up a little bit closer. And some rather colourful England supporters in the stands there with their mops of hair. Second delivery. And once again, that is played defensively to mid-on. So this is probably a good idea from Cummins bringing Marsh back in, because Marsh probably, he may not necessarily be the type of bowler who will be expected to get people out with line and length or any kind of venomous deliveries, but he'll do more than keep it end up, and he will certainly bring about a few more dot balls. And if either of these batsmen, whatever, lose patience, we could see a wicket. Well, that is pitched sort of on off and guided all the way to point. That'll be a single. And that brings Chris Wokes on strike. Just switch off the camera for a minute. Get some water. And here I am back. Certainly don't want to have the television screen running and being seen behind. As a proud Kiwi, I'm sure Brandon McCullum will love nothing more than to secure a win over the Aussies. Stokes is also a Kiwi, having been born and brought up in New Zealand. but moved to England when he was quite young and has now been more or less ingratiated in the English way. Two deliveries left over the
Um,
wicket. And that
hmm.
is a good delivery. A little hint of away seam, and Chris Wokes can't really get that away.
Scientists make two teams for the World Cup are England, Pakistan. If one of them won the World Cup, I will be happy. Mine is Africa, New Zealand, and Pakistan. My three teams.
I don't think New Zealand will win. I think they've got some issues. There's no Kane Williamson, so and once again some good stuff from Marsh, asking questions of Wokes, and that is sort of played defensively to the cover fielder. End of the over. I believe England are now 203 for 6 after 43, needing 48 runs to win.
Good over from March Day. Um, I I think Australia, England are the favourites to go on and win this.
I agree completely.
If they lose this, then I don't know what to say. Um, no, Crossroads. That's 18 runs. That's that 18 runs are very valuable.
Yeah, it is Cummins back
Cricket
into the
World
attack.
Cup. Um, I believe it's around.
October, November. And just coming
Yeah.
back here, Cummins back into the attack. Only two fielders on the onside, a very spread field. So he is now responsible for making sure he bowls to his field. But just one slip, one gully, a spread out offside field.
Of course, the Rugby World Cup will also
And,
be still going on.
yep, that first delivery is played all the way to the area between square leg and mid wicket. Very nicely played indeed, coming off the bat there, but not quite getting too much on it to send it through powerfully. And the fielder there gathers that and cleans up. So just a single. And again, these singles are going to hurt Australia and really help England. No doubt about it.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure they'll want to finish it today and give the fans a Monday holiday.
Yeah.
And that is very well played indeed. Moving across, but hoping to guide that to the fine leg boundary. But Scott Boland over there cleaning up that shot from Chris Wokes.
I will be up yourself. It's been. I ne- I think there gotta be another a twist there. Somewhere in the style. Now are England just going to cruise to the Stoker.
I disagree. I mean, like, you saw Australia cruise despite having lost almost all of their frontline batsmen at Edgbaston. At Headingley, they could just do it. And the thing about this particular pitch is that it started off being a very bowler-friendly pitch, but of course it started to die down. And that's normally what happens with a lot of these bowler-friendly pitches. They don't stay bowler-friendly for too long. The best that bowlers can hope for is a little bit of rough, maybe in the fourth innings, to help the spinners when it comes to bowling second. And yet the fact that we haven't seen Todd Murphy come on says it all. That is well played all the way to the
Yeah, Ben Stokes
Deep
is
cover
gone
fielder.
very cheaply. Move very cheaply, must I add. Um, so yeah, surely you go short. Now, look, you need to stop these runs somehow. Because they have bowled a short ball your day, but for me, you gotta go all out now with the short stuff. And Brook is not a player that's going to smack you for six, not his works really. So
I mean, if Ben Stokes was still at the crease, he'd certainly punish the short balls, but he's not
definitely.
there now.
I don't know why they haven't really gone to it yet. There's one bit shorter in the air and all played.
Yeah, I just saw that. And now, because I'm ahead of you, I've got the last delivery of the over. Cummins to Brook over the wickets of the right-handed batsman, and that is brilliantly played. Um, Finding the gap there, just to the left of a fine leg, and that is a welcome 4 runs, taking Brook to 62. And at the end of this over, England are 211 for 6, and they need 14 to win. It is getting closer, folks. And the attempted short one over there, drifting down leg, and Brooks saying, "Thank you very much indeed, mate." Needs 40 to win. I really don't see a twist in the tail. I think the pitch has died down. The fact that Australia are having to really struggle with the old ball pretty much says it all.
So yeah, come on, gotta pepper them now. It's time to pepper Brook. Come on, we've done the hard work getting rid of Stokes and Pistol. Not just do the easy parts. Get rid of Wilkes and Brook. Very
And
easy.
you can see now that the predictor has swung massively England's way with an 85% prediction. And Marsh back into the attack, and Wokes plays that ball very well to the point fielder.
Yeah,
Another single,
your
taking it to
the matches do take place. Is very late with you guys, but it's mostly because most of the matches are not in America. If you watch it, I think Indian matches are almost the best. It would be, um, because that would be late,
oh,
late
and
nights, and then
an ugly looking waft there from Harry
yeah,
Brook. Missed it completely.
around late night.
Trying to, I mean, not so much a waft. He tried to hit that. He swung and missed. And that went straight to the wicketkeeper. Had that been an edge, Australia would have been cock a hoop.
Come on, trying
But
to get that ball changed again, of course. So the ball changed and then it swung a bit, and then Marsh took the wicket off Crawley, trying to get it again. Oh,
so it could very well be that Australia are trying to use whatever bowlers they possibly can to just work with the old ball until the new ball comes in. But it is going to be some time before they can get the new ball, right?
yeah. Well, 44 overs, still a long time to go. 30
Well,
plus.
that pretty much makes Australia's task all the more difficult. Some very good seam bowling up from Marsh, good line and length, able to work the seam well, and
Unless some rain comes and then Australia gets out there, I don't think it's going to be Australia's day.
bear in mind there's also a full day's cricket to be played.
Yeah, true.
This is definitely England's to win
If they lose
and
this,
England's to lose.
Yeah, it's both. It's days to lose and days to win. So the World Cup is in India. I'm going to need a lot of energy drinks to keep up with the time zone. Um, Let me look at
You
the.
you are 2.5 hours behind me because you're 2 hours ahead of GMT, and currently
No,
with the
it's Wolf. It's Wolf's comments.
oh yeah yeah.
I'm going to check the times now. I'll check the times for you.
If the games are in the evening though, Wolf, you should be able to see them, albeit in the morning over in Canada.
So
And
ten
a
thirty.
really important partnership here, 43 from 55. This could be a match-winning partnership, definitely.
Definitely, definitely.
Ooh, and a beautiful delivery, sort of
Most of
moving
it
away,
is in the
hoping for an edge
in the
from Brook, but
afternoon,
no edge forthcoming.
but
And we see drinks being brought onto the field. England are now 214 for six, and they need 37 to win. Ooh.
nah, 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 no, Wolf. No, I'm not. But well, let me work it out. So New York is about.
I'll work it out for you. New York is 5.5 hours ahead of GMT, and GMT is 5.5 hours ahead of India time. So,
So
but of course,
six.
now with daylight savings, it's 4.5 hours. So in total, you are 9.5 hours behind India time. And so, if matches are taking place during the morning, it could very well be late at night for you. Evening games will be in the morning for you in Canada. Where exactly are you in Canada,
Oh
by the
yeah,
way, Wolf?
you're in Canada. Sorry, Wolf. I apologize. I thought get mixed up with where are you in Canada then? Because New
There,
York is 6 hours from me.
yeah, but
Yeah,
also if you're in the west of Canada, then you'll be even further behind.
I think
Oh, no.
the further you're behind, the better almost. Oh,
Oh man, I'm so tired.
Albert.
You know what the worst part about having a cold is, Hannah? All you want to do is sleep.
So 8 hours. So um, that will be about. Most of the matches will take place around 2 a.m. And your time. There's a few matches later on on that might take place later, or and some matches earlier. So it will be very early for you, early mornings.
Showing some highlights of the Brook innings, and he's certainly taken on a great deal of responsibility. And this could very well be the making of him.
Well, so it's 2 a.m. That's all right, Vance. So Marsh, it's getting a bit frustrating now. They need to sharpen up here. Yeah. I feel like there needs to be something to give. Something needs to give.
Yep, something does need to give. The only question is what will. And now three fielders over there in that sort of square leg mid wicket arc, and fine leg is also on the boundary. Cummins over the wicket to the right handed Wokes. Hoping to try to guide that through, but misses it. Wicketkeeper gets it. No nick there.
England South African final. I don't think that's what happened. So I really don't think. Because we are in a tough pool. Standings. Oh, it's one group. Sorry, one group. So my early pick says India, England, Australia, and then it's between Pakistan, New Zealand, and South Africa for the fourth spot. Don't think Afghanistan do really something, or Bangladesh, but Bangladesh are good in the 50 overs.
And at the moment, Cummins is asking a lot of questions. 3-dot balls right now. Wokes is, of course, the man on strike. Stark is, of course, over there fielding at, I believe it looks like deep mid wicket.
Yeah.
And
What are your early picks for the World Cup? Your early top four.
I'd say England, Australia, India, and Pakistan. I just don't think South Africa or New Zealand will have enough to try and really, fight their way through to the semi-finals or even go further.
Question, yeah, for you, Manny.
Which I live in Madras, or Chennai as it's now called, and if I check the schedule, I can tell you if there are some games being played.
Let me check. I think there is a few. I'll check.
That is fumbled there,
Yeah,
but
India's first game is actually in Chennai.
oh, yeah, but
Against Australia, so
yeah, but
yeah.
no chance of me going to see that game. Tickets will be sold out. The Chidambaram Stadium is a very famous ground, of course, but you can get tickets
And
for the test games. But when it comes to ODI, limited overs games, and IPL matches, forget about it. They get sold out quicker than you can say MS Tony. And
then New Zealand, Bangladesh is also game there.
and a wonderful boundary to what should end the over. England at 221 for 6,
Afghanistan
needing
also
30 to win.
England are going to just get it over. Pakistan, Afghanistan there. Pakistan, South Africa there. 5 matches.
Let me see if there's been any news from Wimbledon as well.
There's 5 matches really there that I can see what's happened there. Yeah, 5 matches happening there. Yeah.
So
I'm
Andre
playing
Rublev,
Chennai.
2 sets up.
Now England aren't playing Chennai. It's New Zealand, Afghanistan, Pakistan, South Africa.
And a 50 partnership between Brook and Wokes. Definitely a match-winning partnership.
Match winning,
now,
but no excitement. Come on. We want some excitement. There's no excitement.
I'd give up excitement for a win right now. And I'm glad to see that England have, pardon me, after this broadcast, I'm going to have to tell you to take a rest. still coughing like crazy. He bowled one over, was hit for 7, and a somewhat more packed offside field with a silly point brought in. I mean, a short leg actually.
And now they only bring in Todd Murphy. We had yesterday when I was fielding there on the Western Terrace side.
And I
Um,
believe he's been no balled. Yep. So England are on double Nelson. Not a good start for Todd Murphy. Your captain asks you to bowl with your team counting on you, and you start with a no ball. They're missing Nathan Lyon.
I think it's just the nerves kicking in.
The yips, as we would call it.
But yesterday the Western Terrace called him the Harry Potter or something about Harry Potter. So, bit funny. Let's see. Oh, that was a massive no ball.
Yep, overstepping dreadfully. And I do seem to remember Scott Boland overstepping at least once before he was called. Eventually.
There's not really any footmarks there. They to right-handers, so
And
gotta work
very
his magic.
quick, enterprising single there from Chris Wokes all the way to the point fielder. And the target's getting even shorter, 28 to win.
Yeah, well, is out a long time. Going to Wimbledon tomorrow to see Spain. Best tennis player, I believe that's Carlos Alcaraz. So yeah, hopefully. Unless you're talking about Nadal is not there, he's not playing in Wimbledon. So yeah. Come on, man, Australia. Do something. Do something, please.
Well, they've tried something, and I think Brooke has just hit Murphy for a boundary, making it 227 for 6,
No.
needing 24 to win. So no century for Harry Brooke, but this will definitely go down as a satisfying innings. A beautiful square cut, and not even bothering to run there because he knows the fielder won't get it. And Murphy has switched to going round the wicket. Decent move because it's sort of denied Brooke the space to work with.
Can you just hear the crowd now getting up? And it's, it's too late now for Australia, I think. Unless they get this wicket off Harrybrook.
And just one question: if this match gets over, when it does get over, do we cover the presentation ceremony or just end it?
Just ended. Let me check. Oof. No, no, Wolf. Yeah, you didn't. It's not come up there. Unless you're just like saying it funny with, of course, him not answering.
Now Mitchell Stark coming back into the attack, bowling to Chris Wokes with a directive to get him out, induce the edge. I believe there is a slip and or a gully. Field is spread out all the way back of the leg side. So Stark cannot afford to concede a boundary with the batsman hitting down the ground. First ball over the wicket, and Wokes guides that square on the leg and should get one, and he does.
Yeah. I think England just were caught in two minds with the short ball and the full ball, and they stuck too long with this full ball tactic. And you look with Harry Brook, they're not going short, or something like that. It wasn't played there. Just went over. Or do they have a short leg for him?
Another boundary, of course, will see the target go down to below 20. Cummins trying his best to set the field. Stark over the wicket to the right-handed Brook. Bowled short, played down to fine leg, and that will be a single. David Warner clearing up.
I don't see why you have much there. Like, at least put him closer to the boundary. That's what I'm thinking. But they put him possibly just with the if it doesn't time it and it goes into the air. So to Brook, nice shot there, like you said there. Just gets it down. 6 more home runs and they won. What do they need? I don't know. They need. Oh, we haven't changed the scoreboard in a while. Oh, no. What's the score now?
2:30
Two
for
to
6.
9. So let me just quickly update. 2 to 9. Um, I need. I need what? 20 runs now? No, 21. I need now 21 runs. 20. And down. 2, 3.
Stark running in. And that is hit high in the air. Feel it under it. There's a collision there, but Harry Brook is out for 75. And do we
Harry
have
Brook
yet
gone.
another twist in the tail? Well, I'm not too sure what he was thinking trying to play that shot. And we were singing his praises of how he had showed maturity in this innings. But with 21 runs to go, we are now into the England tail. And Hanno, take us through this shot, really.
Let's see. Stark, short ball. It's it wide. Cummins goes under it. Collision between him and Stark. I get this idea, but you can't go fetch it there. Stark, short ball wide, at making Brook fetch it. I don't understand why it just moves closer to it or even leaves that because there's that ball you don't need to play it. You can just leave that ball, but it feels like he needs to play at it. It doesn't time. There's a collision between Stark and Cummins. Luckily, Cummins caught it right before Stark. Cummins is overfilled with joy. And is there light to us to this tale? Marco now coming to the crease. Him and Wokes can definitely the few runs, but could we see something a, a collapse here from England? Look, Marco they can definitely would Ilda and strike out now. Look, it's a great pitch. Nothing much on offer for Australia with the old ball. With the new ball, I think it might swing, but yeah.
But some good work from Mitchell Stark, who's taken his 14th 5-wicket haul.
There.
England
Just
at
says here we
2:30.
go again.
Yeah, but it's a 5 wicket
Um,
haul for Mitchell Stark, and now we're into the tail with England needing 3 wickets, and Australia needing 3 wickets, and England needing 21 more to win over the wicket, and that is nicely played by the incoming Mark Wood, all the way to the mid-wicket fielder.
I
That
think
puts
Brandon
England on.
McCallum and Stokes and them have just told him, look, just get singles. We can win this game with singles.
Exactly, you can win
Um,
this game with singles, and
there's no rush. You can take your time. But 21 runs or 3 wickets. Well, 20 runs now. Stark, uh, can he pick up potentially the wicket of either of? I would say Wood is the danger one because he can smack one and past the boundary.
this England team never make it easy for us, do they?
Is there another wicket? I haven't seen it. I think there's another wicket. Let's see. Stark. This last ball. Oh. What is it? A run out? What's happened? Oh, you're just referring to wicket. If Australia win this, they win the Ashes, and the tournament cancelled because it's pointless playing.
No, they're
um,
still going to be played, Wolf. I'm afraid the
yeah,
series has
they
to be
get
played,
to play.
and England will look to try and play for some measure of pride. Sadly for Brooke, if England go on to lose this match, he will look back on that shot and say he let his team down. But of course, everyone will say, no, we win as a team, we lose as a team. We're in this together. And
Yeah, and I think also you look at the likes of Rhodes, he didn't get that much run. Same with Duckett. Same with
Bairstow,
Bairstow. Same with Stokes. But Stokes, I'm not going to put that much pressure on him because what he tried to save them at Lords. He got 80 in the first innings. So yeah,
yeah, Stokes also
that's
deserves
comes
credit. I
back
mean,
into the attack.
that was a brilliant assault there on the bowlers. So over the
It's
wickets of the
comes back
right-handed
into the
Wokes. Swing and a miss, appealing for an edge. I don't think they're going to get it. And Cummins asking the wicketkeeper whether he heard an edge, but there was no edge for Carey to hear. And
90. Manny, did he update the scoreboard? The thing. We did our job, so you're going to do your job, England. But that's a good one. That's a good one.
yeah, so
They will.
232 for 7 after 48 overs, I think. And that is well connected by Wokes, and that goes all the way. Apparently, that's been saved from a boundary by some brilliant work there on the field. We're going to find out exactly what's happened there. Todd Murphy doing some terrific work. And it's brought Mark Wood back on strike. But that is also another brilliant piece of fielding. And we're going to take a look and see if the boundary was indeed saved or was it too little too late. Well, it was...
Not
I'm
sure.
going to take... Did his foot touch the
Yeah,
boundary
save.
rope? Yep.
That's it.
Excellent work there from Todd Murphy. And,
Well, he
well,
stops
cleaned it.
3 runs there.
Yep. 3 runs saved. Brilliant stuff from the bespectacled off spinner there. Australians have always been known for their fine fielding, and that's another example. What should have been 4 has just become 1. And that is a hit high in the air, but that has gone all the way for 6. And so Cummins on doing all of that hard work with a short ball, which Wood connected with very well. And that is, in fact, the first 6 of England's innings. And what a time to hit that. Hannah, take us through it.
I'm a bit behind, so I'm going to see it now. Let's see this. Comment for steaming in and go short into the arc of. It's close to Wood's body. He can free his arms and create some room, and he almost stop edges it past the keeper. At for six. That's a massive. That's massive. 12 now needed. 3 wickets.
I cannot see England losing now. That shot from Wood has really calmed my nerves. Cummins will be looking at himself and saying, you know what? He's been expensive as well, mind you. After starring in the first innings, he's been picked apart in the second, and he might look at himself and say, you know what? I might be to blame here. But I take a look at the way Australia have played, and I think they're going to come back at Old Trafford and want revenge, no doubt about it.
Yeah, Wood
And
playing
that is,
sensible in that ball.
and that will be. I'm not too sure what Cummins was thinking, changing his direction, going round the wicket. Because if you want to do that, you've got to have more fielders on the leg side, being able to take being positioned to take a catch there. Instead, he's just made his task all the more difficult. He's not tactically the best, but in terms of the leadership he provides, he is quite simply Australia's best choice. Steve Smith might have the best cricketing brain in the team, but clearly because of that disgraceful sandpaper incident, he should never captain Australia again. Should never have even been made vice captain, in my opinion. Last ball of the over, round the wicket to Wokes, and is that going to be called a wide? No, it isn't. So at the end of this over, England are now 240 for 7, a great over for them. And they now need 11 runs to win. So I'm going to create a banner, but not use it yet. As it stands, though, England need 11 to win. Mitchell Stark is back into the attack. A final Hail Mary. Throw a roll of the dice. Stark, of course, has been the star with 5 in this second innings, but he's also been a little bit expensive, going at a touch over 4 and over.
Yeah. Come on, Stark. Can you do it? They need a wicket and quickly. I think this test, I think Australia have almost been just off it a bit
Yeah.
with the bat and with the ball.
If it weren't for Mitchell Marsh's heroics, they would have been really bundled out. A good toss for
Yeah.
Stokes to win, and he made the most of it. Round the wicket to the right-handed Mark Wood. And that is a decent delivery, but well played by Wood. Does that go to the boundary? Yes, it does. Straight through cover, and England needs 7 to win.
I think it's
And
done.
you can
We'll
just
replace
taste it.
Robinson. That we will talk about it tomorrow or on Tuesday, because it is a bit of a long break, so speak on everything.
I would say having it on Tuesday would be the best time. It'll give us some time to digest everything. And
Yeah,
excellent,
7-1.
excellently played there.
2 more 6s and it's over for Australia and America. Well, now it's just 1 more 6 basically.
Yep. And that is the only legal short ball allowed for the over. I wonder if Taramasena is going to call that a wide. He does call that a wide. So 1-6 does indeed make it over.
Stark, I think that's done.
Yep. Mark Wood coming in and finishing things off quite well. Best time for him to come in, really, with about less than 30 left. And you can just see the England players preparing to, celebrate, but it's still not over. And yet, with 3 wickets to win, trying to defend 5 runs, you can't see anything like that. And that is also nicely played all the way through the covers. Do they run back for 2? Yes, they do. 4 to win. They could actually get it done in this over itself.
No, I think it's not the place you want to be if you are an Aussie. Don't want to play a test match day.
And Moeen Ali will be looking at himself and thinking, maybe my return to Test cricket hasn't quite worked out. Got a nice landmark of 200 wickets, but that is hit high in the air. And is there a fielder under it? Nope, that is dropped.
Oh no. But it's there. Just there.
A wild swing from Mark Wood, sending the ball high in the air. And it was always going to be a difficult catch. Hanno, take us through it, please.
So let's see this. Stuck. Going to sit now. Just went on Mitchell Stark to Stark. Top edge. He wanted to hit it almost like hit that previous six of his, and Carey run all the way. Well, he said to Boland leave it. Boland probably should have taken it. Carey ran all the way, made the dive. It's always a tough one. It should have left that to Boland.
Boland probably should have caught that. And when you take a look at the Brook wicket, there was very nearly a collision there between Cummins and Stark. You've got to call for it, guys. I mean, It suits me just fine personally, but not very smart cricket. And now with England needing 2 more to win, 1 more exquisite cover drive from Wood will end this once and for all.
Oh, it's just 2-1 now. So 2 runs to 1. It's 2, 4, 9.
This is baseball at its best, knowing when to play aggressively and when not to play aggressively.
And they get a single, so 1 run to do it.
Will it be done off the last ball of this over? Stark has taken 5 wickets, but he could also be the bowler who ends up conceding the match. The scores are now tied, but England have 3 wickets in hand.
Could they lose all 3 wickets? Yeah. Wow. No. I think that's it.
Smiles on the England area. Marcus Trescothick looking quite happy. Fine opening batsman for England, playing over 200 senior matches for the national team before retiring, and went on to continue doing well with Somerset, and that is it. Chris Woakes sending that to the boundary, the point boundary, and England sealing a brilliant win by 3 wickets. Australia leading the series 2-1, but the Ashes are very much alive, and it was effectively too little too late with those late wickets for Australia, but revenge for Edgbaston perhaps, and now do England have some belief?
Wolf says smiling emojis. Yes. Look, I think it was just an off test, I think, for Australia. They weren't firing on all cylinders, and that's what happened elimination series. Um, and Steve Smith loses his 100th Test match. So we'll see. I think it was just to they didn't get the wickets, and also England played in the better batting conditions than Australia. If
Yep, it was
Australia didn't
go
come
ahead.
out yesterday late night, those 20 odd overs, then they are probably not. Probably they will be still batting this morning. So yeah, man of the match.
Mark Wood.
Mm,
Mark Wood. 5 wickets
yeah,
in the first innings on his
gotta
return
be
to the
more.
team, bowled with venom. Probably wasn't as fearsome or effective in the second innings, but still took two important wickets. And of course, he was there after Harry Brook got out to help guide England home. It's got to be him. Simple as that. And
Agree.
Australia, all they can do is lick their wounds and come back for the next test. I do believe Mitchell Marsh has secured his place with that fine century of his. There's no way that Cameron Green can come back. He hasn't fired on any cylinders at all so far. And I think Australia are going to miss Nathan Lyon. So it could very well be that Murphy and Head will have a lot of responsibility as spinners. And it baffles me why Cummins wasn't willing to hand his part-time spinners some overs to try and help ease the burden, really.
Yeah, definitely. But we will speak more on this on Tuesday. So yeah, be up yourself, people, and we saw
Definitely.
on later on. Cheers, people.